Mirium Chandi Minachri. उनके बारे में थोड़ा सा आपको बताना चाहूंगी. She is the producer and the co-director of this film Lyari Notes and the founder director at Filament Pictures, a Mumbai-based production house. She has pitched and produced award-winning films that have been broadcast on international channels like the National Geographic Channel, BBC World and Art. Her last documentary, The Rat Race, weaves together the narratives of rat killers in Mumbai. It won the MIP Doc Co-Production Challenge at Cannes, premiered at IDFA, and won the Audience Award at Florence and Kerala. It is one of the rare documentaries to get theatrical releases in 3 Indian cities, winning critical and popular acclaim. Miriam Chandi हैं हमारे साथ और it's a pleasure having you, Miriam. Thank you so much for giving us your precious time. A warm welcome.
Thank you. Good to be on the channel.
How are we doing to begin with? How is your day starting?
It's lovely. In India, we're getting ready for Holi over here. Yes, so there's a lot of color and excitement in the air. So,
yeah, it's my favorite time of the year. I love colors.
Absolutely.
So, होली की मुबारकबाद के साथ शुरू करते हैं आज का इंटरव्यू और Miriam, we would like to know about your involvement with Lyari Notes. How did this happen?
I'm a music enthusiast, so मैं internet पे I used to basically surf a lot of underground music videos that were coming out of Pakistan. Mm-hmm. और वो काफी interesting थे because it was very political. Mm-hmm. And they would make satires and spoofs and, take on subjects that I didn't see being discussed in mainstream media. So जब मैंने comments list में देखी थी, so it was, most of the comments were from Indians actually, and there was a very healthy, almost humorous dialogue happening, because of these music videos. Mm-hmm. So actually the idea started from that point where I thought, this is about music and it's starting a dialogue that Indians and Pakistanis are not having. Mm-hmm. So Lyari Notes germinated from simply just being a music buff, I think.
Oh, so it came from you?
Yes. The music videos came from me. Mm-hmm. The actual story of Lyari Notes evolved actually because I contacted Maheen, mm-hmm. and I knew about the music school and Hamza, mm-hmm. but kind of focusing the story in Lyari, that is something that Maheen brought to the table, and it's a very important part of the film, I would say, mm-hmm. because, someone living in Karachi understands what Lyari is all about, where despite this kind of gun culture and violence, something like a music program, mm-hmm. What it actually means to people over there.
Correct.
Yeah.
So, how did you meet Maheen?
Actually, I was doing a film for National Geographic Channel many years ago, almost, I would say 10 years ago. Mm-hmm. And uska subject was actually, camel jockeys in the Middle East, where camel racing is very popular. Uh-huh. Or many of the kids over there were from Pakistan. So I had shot 90% of the film, mm-hmm. and they were introducing a robot to replace children because there were a lot of, human rights violations, and people were making, demanding that these children are sent back. Mm-hmm. So the government was introducing a robot. So I had shot all of that, mm-hmm. but I needed the part where the children are actually sent back to their home countries.
Okay.
And us time pe I was not getting my visa to Pakistan. You know how it is between India and Pakistan. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. So I found Maheen online on the internet, and we kind of discussed what I needed. It was a small part, but Maheen shot that part in Pakistan for me. And the film, I felt, really became much better because of that, very important window. Mm-hmm. So in my mind, I always felt if I think of a film about Pakistan, I'd like to collaborate with Maheen. Mm-hmm. So the minute this idea came up, and I started writing the proposal down, I contacted Maheen and, asked her whether she would collaborate.
Mm-hmm. So when you conceived the idea, when you got this idea, looking at those comments and, listening those songs, did you even think about how exactly it will shape up? Did you have any idea what exactly is going on, or it was a revelation for you as well as you started going ahead with the project?
At the time, I didn't know exactly what the story would be, but I was looking for an entry point into the story. Basically, I was, looking for how do I do this. And then when I was reading up more, I read about the music school in Karachi. So I thought that's a great entry point. But if you see the film, it's actually equally about these 4 little girls who go from Lyari to the music school.
Correct.
So I didn't think of all of that. That was something that evolved with Maheen's involvement, with kind of, going with the process of what documentary filmmaking is all about. So you have a basic concept, but also you have to be open to the forces. You have to be open to the people who are in the film, because it's real life unfolding in front of the camera.
Correct. So you being a seasoned documentary maker, you must have seen a lot of adventure. You're already pretty experienced in this. So when you were entering into this project, you must have realized that it's going to be a risky project. So, and what drove you to still go ahead with that? The sense of adventurism?
I think every film's an adventure, yes. I think all documentary filmmakers are adventurers at heart. So yes, that's a given, I think. But I think the driving force for this film was really that, music does transcend boundaries, and both India and Pakistanis, both Indians, Pakistanis have this great love for music.
Absolutely.
And we felt that, using that as a dialogue and as a narrative in the film, we could kind of have a new kind of discourse, which is very important, when we have more and more kind of hard lines coming up in the mainstream. So it's more important that the majority of the population continue to have a sort of, love for a common culture. And music is a wonderful way to transcend boundaries. So I think that kept us going despite never meeting, kind of working across Skype, internet, and, all of these things. So you never went to Pakistan for this film? No, I could not. And it was a decision we took early in the filming, because it was a very long timeline. It was 3 years that we took to make the film. Wow. So in Lyari, we didn't want to draw too much attention to the filming itself, because we were shooting with minors. And it was more important to get the film in a truthful form than to draw attention to how the film was being made. So I think Maheen herself had a tough time, kind of, and with a lot of confidence and trust with the people she filmed with, she kind of shot in very kind of controlled situations, because you can't just wander down Lyari with a camera and stuff like that. She shared the incident, like she shared the experience that how so many times she was almost reaching to the location, and then she was being told that, no, you can't shoot today, and how it was like a hush-hush affair, as something secretive going on. And she did share that the biggest challenge was to send you the feed from there. So she did tell us more about that. Yes, really this film is not just about music, but the fact that in today's day and age, technology has evolved so much that these kind of films are possible despite hostile borders, and there are ways to make the film you want to make. Isn't that wonderful? It's such a heartening thing. Technology has actually brought world together, closer. Yes. I think the other remarkable thing is that at some point during our filming, we went for a crowd fund where we were running short of money, and we had like over 100 contributors across the world, including from America. Wow. Who just kind of were so intrigued by the way that the film was being made by like an Indian filmmaker and a Pakistani filmmaker, and that was the trailer that we ran at that time, how the film was being made, including a glimpse of the film. So we had more than 100 contributors who kind of bought into this idea, at that time. So,
wow.
Yeah.
That's remarkable. Yeah. That's absolutely wonderful. So when we say Indo-Pak collaboration, it really means big, because there's so much stress behind it. It's not easy. You can't visit Pakistan. Maheen couldn't visit India, and it was even difficult to even send the feeds from Pakistan, and shooting was difficult, and yet you both stood your ground and made sure that you finished this project. How awesome is that?
Yeah, totally. So we met, I think, 3 times, and it was always in Amsterdam. And I think in person we only met 3 times during 3 years, and it was in Amsterdam to look over stuff, see where our film is going, actually discuss things through. And I think people do travel between India and Pakistan, but when you do an Indo-Pak collaboration, you realize how many kind of how many kind of hurdles there are to do very basic stuff like sending, say, drives between both countries, or even transferring funds is an issue. So I think, things that you take for granted in a normal co-production all became issues in an Indo-Pak co-production, and it really is kind of, it kind of shows the stalemate in diplomacy between the two countries, because if you want to have peace, you also have to have strong bridges, and those bridges don't seem to be too strong.
Yeah, I totally understand what you're trying to say. You never met the girls, obviously. You never met Hamza Jafri as well.
No, Hamza, Maheen and me had almost weekly Skypes at one point in time when the film became very intense. So even though I haven't kind of met Hamza in person, we've spoken a lot and interacted a lot, I think. The girls are people I've been introduced to pretty much through the edit table, on the edit table and through the footage. And they kind of emerged. It's not that we planned that we would focus on these 4 girls. It was a music class, so Maheen was shooting the entire music class. But these 4 girls literally emerged from the edit sessions, and when I would Skype with Maheen, we would discuss who should we kind of focus on, and it became more and more clear through the edits that these 4 girls had very different personalities, and they were very close friends, and therefore they were the interesting kind of point to enter the film and make it the coming-of-age film that it is.
I mean, during the whole process, did you realize that it is turning into be something very motivational, something very inspirational? Although you started as a creative satisfaction, you just saw it from the music point of view. And did you realize that, it's becoming something very special, very heartening, something very inspiring for many people,
I would say that almost at the end, it seemed like it was becoming very inspirational. There were points that I really felt like, there was a point we actually thought the film had been derailed, for instance, because the girls just dropped out of the music school, and we were just maybe 60% of our filming was over. So we actually thought, our film is over, and this was not planned at all. So I think that's the thing in a documentary. You don't know exactly where it's going, but you have to have a lot of faith and a lot of I think just being pig-headed to some point to believe that it will reach somewhere. Yes, towards the end, especially when Pakistan, in Peshawar, there were the attacks on school children, and that kind of became the heart of the film, where, the 4 characters in our film were kind of so emotionally bonded with that incident, and the way it all unfolded in real time on the camera. I knew that it would be a very powerful document of our times, actually, because we were actually capturing it as it happened. So,
correct. So, it's really, really heartening to see how these 4 girls, so passionate about music and in such a difficult situation, they are keeping up with their passion in the area where even the normal elementary education is difficult, and they are giving their everything, risking their lives to learn music is really, really inspiring, especially for the people who would be watching here on 14th of April for the first time in Dallas. They would realize that, we take life so much for granted. We have so many resources here, and yet we sometimes don't value it, don't utilize it, and how heartening
Absolutely.
it is. Mm-hmm.
Not for people in Dallas, for the privileged people in Pakistan, for the privileged people in India, for everyone it's an eye-opener. Mm-hmm. And really, the way the girls, it's also the year that Malala won the Nobel Peace Prize. That's also a part of the film where these girls are actually discussing it. Mm-hmm. So, I think that it's definitely an inspiring film across, privileged people. There are always two Pakistans, two Indias. In Dallas, there are many multiple realities. So I think this is an important window to that, yeah.
Absolutely, absolutely. So I would ask you in the end, Miriam, that what would you like to say as a message in the end?
I think come see the film, sit back, enjoy it. I think, it's one of those breezy, very enjoyable films, and a reporter had said it's a subtly subversive film. So I think the message is not the message will hit you in retrospect. It's otherwise a very enjoyable film, and I feel that that's what music between countries is all about. It is enjoyable. The message is just part of the music. So, yeah.
Wow. We look forward to see you here on 14th of April. Are you coming here?
We are so excited. We are so very excited.
Yes, absolutely. I can hear that in your voice, but then people who would watch this film and get inspired would love to see you talking about it. I'm sure they would have a lot of questions to ask as well. So really,
we are
really
waiting for it. We've shown widely in Europe, and we had our premiere in India, and I think America is going to just be a whole new, territory we are moving into. So we are really excited about it.
Awesome. Well, congratulations, first of all, for making this wonderful project, working on it together.
Thank you, Karishma. Hope your audience has a lovely day today.
Thank you so much. And you have to. Happy Holi in advance.
Same to you.
I'll see you in Dallas very soon, Miriam. It was lovely talking to you.
Ditto, Karishma. See you.
Bye.
Bye.